Hey guys, welcome to your very own astrology channel, and in this particular video we'll be studying about the Gemini rising sign or the Gemini ascendants. And before we begin with the Gemini rising sign or the Gemini ascendants, let me first tell you what the rising sign in astrology is. Well, the rising sign in astrology is the sign that was rising from the eastern side of the sky at the time you were born. So if you were born on this particular time of this particular day in some particular year, at that precise moment when you were born, the sign that was the sign that was rising from the eastern side of the sky, from where the sun rises, is your becomes your rising sign. So since we are talking about the Gemini rising sign, these people or ascendants, at the time they were born, it was the Gemini sign that was rising from the eastern side of the sky at that precise moment when they were born. And since the Gemini sign was rising from the eastern side of the sky, so the energy of the Gemini sign comes into their first house, and that is why you see the symbol 3 written in their first house. And as we proceed in the anti-clockwise direction, the symbol 4 is written in their second house, the symbol 5 is written in their third house, and similarly, as we move into the anti-clockwise direction, we end up with the 12th house having the symbol 2. And the way we study the chart of this Gemini ascendant is by the fact that that the original energy of the third house comes into the first house for the Gemini ascendants, and the original energy of the fourth house comes into the second house for the Gemini ascendants. The original energy of the fifth house comes into the second house, comes into the third house for the Gemini ascendants, and likely as we go there, the original energy of the second house is present into the 12th house for the Gemini ascendants. If you are familiar with this particular concept of that I just told you right now, that the way we study, the way we go about studying this chart is by the fact that the original energy of the third house is present into the first house for the Gemini ascendants, and likely we proceed into the anti-clockwise direction with the original energy of the second house present into their 12th house. If you are clear with this very concept, then what all I talk about the Gemini rising sign, you would be easily able to relate to the stuff that I'll be telling you about the Gemini rising sign, and you would see that no matter what you had written in the books or heard about the Gemini rising sign so far, but it is through this Vedic chart and the theory that I told you, I would authenticate and give reasoning for reasoning for each and everything, give a reasoning for each and every attribute that the rising sign, that the Gemini rising sign is all about. So without wasting any time, let's go, guys. So guys, now starting with the Gemini rising sign, and as you can see, there's a layout of the Vedic chart which is typical for the Cancer rising sign, and if you can see it clearly, as I told you before, for the Gemini ascendants, the original energy of the third house comes into the first house for the Gemini rising sign, and that is the reason why you see the symbol 3 written over here in the first house for the Gemini rising sign. And it is due to this fact that Gemini rising people are excellent when it comes to their communication skills. Now, you might be wondering that why am I saying so. It's because of the fact that some of you who must have already watched my third house astrology videos, they might be very well aware of the fact that third house in anyone's horoscope is the house of communications. Third house is the house, originally I'm talking of the original third house. It is when we look at the original third house in anybody's horoscope, and from that third house, from the dignity of the third house, we decipher out that how good is the person when it comes to his communication skills. And with this original energy of the third house coming into the first house for the Gemini ascendants, these Gemini ascendants are kind of are one of the most excellent communicators. I mean, when this Gemini rising sign communicates, he communicates with such finesse, with such class, and with such exemplary talent that he ultimately ends up mesmerizing you with the way he talks, with the way he speaks. And I told you, if you have watched my Taurus rising sign video, in that video I told that that out of the 12 zodiac signs that we have in astrology, it is the Gemini rising sign who is excellent when it comes to communication, and no rising sign can mimic the class, mimic the finesse, mimic the exemplary talent that the Gemini rising sign can exhibit when it comes to communication. Now, do you believe that these Gemini rising sign people make personal efforts on their end in order to hone up their communication skills? No, absolutely not. Or is it the fact that do these Gemini rising sign people go to some sort of a school or take up the tuition classes in order to learn the correct grammatical use of the language they are speaking, or to hone up their dialogue delivery, etc.? No. This is not the thing. The communication skill is something that these Gemini rising sign people are naturally blessed with. Like every rising sign in each rising sign in Vedic astrology is blessed with is naturally blessed with some sort of a skill set. Likely these Gemini rising sign people, they are kind of blessed when it comes to the communication skills. So it could be the fact that this Gemini rising individual may make his communication stand apart from others because of the fact that he may use those cheeky, he may have the skill of using those cheeky or the witty one-liners while he is conversating. Or it could be the fact that this Gemini rising sign individual may have the skill of using the philosophical or the spiritual quotes in order to back up his viewpoint that he is ascertaining to. He has got the knack of using those spiritual or the philosophical quotes to emphasize on the viewpoint, to emphasize on the fact that he is putting through. Or it could be the fact that these Gemini rising sign people are also exceptionally good when it comes to vocabulary. They can use the high profile words, they can use the hi-fi adjectives that the other rising signs in astrology might not know a meaning of. So it could be anything. Now, even if there's a Gemini rising sign people who is not skilled at using those cheeky or the witty one-liners while the way he communicates, or he could not even have the skill of using those philosophical or the spiritual quotes to emphasize on the point that he's laying forward, or he may not be even good with the vocab. But one thing you should take for granted, and that is one thing is very sure about the Gemini rising sign, that even if he doesn't have that sort of a skill set of using those one-liners and these quotes, he knows how to play with words. He knows how to put across his viewpoint in one of the most impressive manner that sets his communication skills at an altogether different class from the different as compared to the communication skills of the different people. Now, there's one more thing that is peculiar about the Gemini rising sign. It is that since Gemini is an air sign, this energy is these people are kind of very energetic. So if this person is doing something, he wants to go into the 10 different directions. If this person is into some sort of a business, he has his mind drifting into the 10 different directions. He would venture into the 10 different fields at the same time, and likely this trait is very much evident in the way he communicates. So this Gemini sign rising individual is master when it comes to communication, and he makes the while he's communicating, he would make a transition from one topic to another, and from that topic to yet another topic, and he would do in such a sophisticated, such a subtle and soft mannerism that you won't even realize that when that transition from one topic to the another took place. So It could be the fact that while he's speaking about let's suppose he's talking about a sexual topic, so he would make that transition from that sexual topic to spirituality, or from a sports talk to a political discussion. He would do that in such a subtle mannerism that you would automatically be mesmerized by the way he is speaking. You would not realize that when the transition took place. So let's suppose if I am a Gemini rising sign individuals, although I'm not am, and if this Gemini rising sign individual is communicating to the fellow friend of his, so he might be like, hey, did you see that new chick that is that is featuring in that upcoming Bollywood film? She has got oodles of talent. She has got a tantalizing and the ever so alluring sex appeal. It's like that. She's not gone through a natural biological process. Rather, she has been architecturally or structurally built by one of the most meticulous and the scrupulous craftsmen, and later this figure of architectural brilliance was brought to life as a human being. She has such sharp features. You just wait for a while and you will see this girl topping the charts and getting the international fame. Anyways, leave that. How about your meditational classes that we were talking of when we had a chat last? I was listening to this meditational guru yesterday on this particular channel, and he had such an aura, he had such an energy field surrounding him that while I was listening to his talks, I didn't even realize that when I got shifted from the realistic plane to an altogether esoteric and the spiritual plane, I was mesmerized by his talks, and I plan to attend one of his meditation sessions one day. Would you accompany me for that? But we would not go to his meditation sessions on Sunday, because on Sundays we play football, and football reminds me of one thing. You lost the best. You lost the bet. I put my money on that Lionel Messi. I knew he was gonna be the player of this year. He was gonna be the player of the year this particular year. And I told you before that don't put your money on Ronaldo or Ronaldinho, because it's all Messi this year, and you have lost the best. So I have my treat pending. So can you realize that I am not a Gemini rising sign. Of course, I would not have even done 20% justice when I made the transition from this Bollywood actress to this meditational guru to football and to this Lionel Messi thing. But had the similar Gemini rising sign would have been talking about the similar transition, he would have done it in an exemplary manner that you would not have been able to realize that when this transition from one topic to the other took place. And this is the kind of energy that is present in the Gemini ascendant. And there is one more thing about the Gemini ascendants, that these people are not the master of one particular trade. Rather, they are the jack of all trades. They are into practically everything. So this person might not know about spirituality in as much depth as say a Sagittarius or a Pisces rising sign would do, or this Gemini rising sign individual would not know about politics or law in as much depth as the Saturnian signs like Capricorn or the Aquarius rising would do. Neither he would know about the sports in as much depth as an Aries rising sign would do. But these people have a tits and bits of everything to share. So no matter what the situation is, what the topic of discussion is, and what is the demographics, what is the demographics of the people he are talking to, he has got something or the other to share, or something or the other to say, no matter what the topic of discussion is. So a 10, even a 2-year child would find this Gemini rising individual as entertaining, as intellectually stimulating as a 40-year-old person would find this Gemini rising sign as. So these people are kind of very manipulative. They know how to get into the skin of that character, and since they are multifaceted, they can gel with the people of any age group. So while he's with that 2-year child, so he can easily transform into the 2-year child. So he's like na 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 na. Hey Alex, how are you? He's like running with the child. He's like playing with the toy that the boy is holding. He's like pulling his cheeks, and it's that infectious childish energy that would ultimately start vibrating in the body of this Gemini rising sign. And while he is with the 40-year-old intellectually sound man, he would be he would transform himself as he would be holding a beer, a glass of beer in his hand, and with a grim expression on his face, and this Gemini rising sign would be like, hey, our country is going, you're correct, our country is suffering from inflation, and it's high time that the Prime Minister of our country makes the economic reforms and brings the new economic laws into promulgation. So this is what the Gemini rising sign is. He can entertain a person who is 2-year-old, with as much of a skill as he can entertain a person who is 40-year-old. And this is the very reason that this Gemini rising sign people have a huge friend circle. So let's suppose if this Gemini rising sign people has 30 friends who are in his age group, likely are the chances that he will have an equal number of friends. That is, he would have 30 friends who are 10 years younger to him, and he would have the similar number of 30 friends who are 10 to 20 years older to him. So this is the Gemini rising sign all about. And not only he can conversate with the people of the different age groups, but you will find that there is a lot of versatility in his friend circle. So while one of his friends might be a very suave and sophisticated industrialist, then yet another friend of his would be a teacher, then another friend would be a monk, and then yet another friend would be a frivolous, eccentric person who would be jobless. And this is the kind of versatility that you see in the circle of the Gemini rising sign. And guys, now when I say that these Gemini sign people are blessed are blessed or are exceptional when it comes to their verbal communication skills, here when I use the word communication, I don't limit myself to the verbal communication alone. In fact, these Gemini rising sign individuals excel at any form of communication, and generally if you see the communication takes place in 3 major forms. First is that when you are verbally speaking, so it is called the verbal form of communication, or the second form of the communication is when you are writing stuff and through your writings you are putting across your viewpoint to the other people, so it's the written form of communication. And third form of communication is when you are communicating through the body movements that you make, through any kind of the gestures that you make, or through any kind of the acting that you do. And Gemini rising sign people excel at all these form of communication. And Gemini rising sign, when it comes to the career thing, these Gemini rising sign individuals are likely to venture into careers which involve the communication of some sort. So these people are likely to go into the fields like DJs, that is disc jockeys. They can go into fields like disc jockeys, RJs, music composers, wherein they are communicating through the language of music. Or they can go into the fields like acting. They can go into the fields like mimicry artists, they can become good ventriloquists. So these are the 3 fields, that is mimicry artists, ventriloquists, or acting, wherein you are communicating through your body movements or through the gestures or the acting that you do. These people can also go into fields like media and communications, journalism. They can become the TV show hosts, the news anchors, wherein they are communicating through the verbal form of communication. And then these people make exceptionally good writers, exceptionally good bloggers, and these people make exceptionally good newspaper columnists. So these are the traits. That is the newspaper columnists, writers of any sort, or bloggers, wherein they are using the written form of communication. So their career has got to do something or the other with the communication thing. Now I have told you a range of the careers that these Gemini rising sign people can venture into. That is, if I were to repeat those careers again, they can become DJs, RJs, music composers, they can become actors, ventriloquists, they can become mimicry artists, they can go into fields like media and communication, journalism, news anchors, TV show hosts. They can become good writers, good bloggers, good newspaper columnists, and the things like that. But which exact profession would they precisely go into, that is decided by the placement of Mercury. That is decided where the Lord of the first house, that is where the Mercury is placed in their horoscope, which particular house the Mercury is placed in, which particular sign the Mercury is placed, which particular nakshatra and padha the Mercury is placed in, and which particular planets are aspecting the Mercury in their horoscope. When we take all those things into consideration, it is at that particular point when we are in a state that we can precisely point out that whether they would be more inclined towards the written form of communication, towards the verbal form of communication, towards the form of communication wherein they are communicating through the language of music, or they are communicating through the bodily gestures or the movements or the acting that they do. Now let's suppose if Mercury is placed in the third house of communications. If their Mercury is placed in the third house of communications, or Mercury is aspected by the planet Rahu, then these people are more likely to go into fields like DJs, RJs, music composers, foreign language interpreters, and electronics and communication engineering. And why am I saying so? Because Rahu is a planet of foreign languages. Rahu is a planet of mass media and communications. Rahu is a planet of breaking the classical and the orthodox form. That is all about overthrowing the classical and the orthodox form of doing things, and it is all about doing things in a more scientific or in a more modernized way. So rather than using the verbal form of communication, highly are the chances that the aspect of Rahu on Mercury can take them into fields like DJs, RJs, music composers, electronics and communication engineering, foreign language interpreters, since Rahu also is a planet of foreign languages. And why am I saying this? Electronics and communication engineering, DJs, and the music composer, things like that, because a whole lot of, if you realize that music industry is not limited to singing alone these days. Music industry has got different verticals, and this particular vertical wherein you are talking of the fields like DJs, RJs, music composers, herein a lot of science goes into it, wherein you got to be familiar with what is the direct current, what is the alternate current all about, what is the amplifier, what are the digital circuits that are embedded in the musical instruments that you play. There is what you got to also have a knowledge of physics, because the science of sound waves, that is which particular frequency or wavelength you might be playing, that also is taken into consideration, and this involves the use of the electronic circuits. So you can go into electronics and communication thing, music composers thing. Whenever you see a person who is a music composer, you would feel that person is not more artistic like a planet Venus that has to do with singing. Is rather a music composer is more into the scientific form of music, wherein he's making efforts that which particular notes to strike, how are the digital and the electronic circuits are to be set up, and the amplifiers and the things like that. Now, although Rahu is a planet of mass media and communication, but less likely are the chances that the aspect of Rahu on Mercury would take this person into media and communications, or journalism, or blogging, or TV show hosts, or as the news anchors. Because herein, when you are venturing into all those jobs that has to do with media and communication, journalism, blogging, herein you are holding a very high responsibility on your shoulders, because through your writings as a blogger, or through the news that you produce as the news anchors, or the media, or the people associated with journalism, you by doing all that, you are actually doing something that is going to change or affect the social, economical, or the political mental makeup of the people who might be listening to the news you are reading, who might be exposed to the documentaries that have made, or who might be exposed to your readings by reading your blogs. So this is a field that requires a lot of discipline, that requires a lot of structure and organization. So you may not have a slightest notion of the fact that what am I writing is gonna hurt somebody, but no sooner you realize that that you did that mistake, you will end up hurting the sentiments of any political group or any social group, and you instead of being praised, you might be ridiculed, or you might be fired from the job as a news anchor or a journalist, because these are the professions that demand out of you a high amount of structure and organizations. Therefore, herein the planet Saturn comes into play. So if Mercury is aspected by Saturn, then likely are the chances that you would go into fields like media and communications, journalism, blogging, TV show hosts, news anchors. Because first of all, Saturn is a planet of discipline, structure, organization. Then Saturn is a planet that would think 10 times before writing any article. He would make sure that he doesn't write anything that would hurt the sentiments of the people in any form. Then Saturn is also a planet of law. He is a planet that makes sure that anything that you write, or anything that you produce, or anything that you say is legitimate, is constitutional, is kind of very fundamental in nature. So the aspect of Mercury, the aspect of Rahu and Mercury can take you into media and journalism and all those fields only if the Mercury plus Rahu is present in a sign of Saturn. Let's suppose if Mercury plus Rahu is present in the sign of Capricorn, then there are chances that you would go into those fields. Or otherwise, if Mercury is not aspected by Saturn, is not aspected by Rahu, and instead is aspected by Saturn, then there are high amount of inclination that you would go into media and journalism and the bloggings and the fields like that. Now, what if the planet Mercury is influenced or is aspected by the planet Venus? Then instead of being a music composer wherein a lot of scientific knowledge is involved, herein the aspect of Venus would make you more artistic in nature, and you instead of becoming a music composer, you could become a singer, you could become an actor, you could become a mimicry artist. Or you could be associated with the entertainment industry or the glamour industry in any particular vertical of the glamour industry, or the glamour industry, cinema industry, and the things like that. What if Mercury in your horoscope is aspected by the planet Jupiter? In case the Mercury in your horoscope is aspected by the planet Jupiter, then you could also become a teacher, you could also become a motivational guru, because herein you are also using the verbal form of communication when you are teaching somebody, or when you are giving your spiritual teachings to the people. And by this, because Jupiter, which is aspecting Mercury, is a planet of Jupiter is a planet of spirituality, religion, philosophy. Jupiter is a planet of that stands for children, that stands for the teaching profession. So the aspect of Jupiter on Mercury can take you into the fields like motivational gurus, teachers, and things like that. However, the exact profession that you would go into would depend upon from which particular house is Jupiter aspecting Mercury. Now you might also be thinking the fact that the aspect of Mercury and Jupiter can land a person into some sort of a job where he is a wealth advisor, wealth manager, and things like that. Since both these planets, Mercury and Jupiter in your horoscope, has to do with the management of wealth. But you got to realize one thing. Here we are talking of the Gemini rising sign and not the Virgo rising sign. It is the Virgo rising sign that is skilled at wealth management. It is the Virgo rising sign that is all about analytics, statistics, doing the logical and the computational analysis, using those bar charts, calibration graphs, and the things like that help you in taking the right decisions when it comes to business. It is not the Gemini rising sign. Gemini rising sign is an energy which is not that disciplined as a Virgo energy is. So less likely are the chances that even if this Mercury is aspected by Jupiter, less likely are the chances that you would become a wealth manager. Of course, if let's say if your Mercury is placed in the sign of Virgo, or if your Mercury is placed in the second house. The second house has to do with wealth management. If the combination of Mercury and Jupiter is present in the second house, or in the sign of Virgo, then there are chances that you might become a wealth manager. But even that might not happen, because let's suppose Mercury, instead of being present in the third house, if Mercury is present in the second, Mercury plus Jupiter is present in the second house, then take note of one thing. Although Mercury and Jupiter is present in the second house of wealth management, it is present in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer sign is going to change the character of this Mercury and Jupiter combination, and the Cancer sign has got nothing to do with wealth management. And if this Mercury or Jupiter is present in the sign of Virgo, then also there are less chances that these people would go into the wealth management field, because now, although they are into the sign of Virgo, but they are placed into the fourth house of emotions, the fourth house of luxuries and the conveniences of life. So again, the chances of going into the wealth management field are quite less. And guys, there is one very important thing about the Gemini rising sign. The Gemini rising sign, these people are driven into the inconvenient situations. These people actually do not get the purest esoteric and the purest esoteric, one of the most divine love of the mother in their life. At least in the early stages, they do not have the financial or the emotional backing up of the family, or they may not have the luxuries and the conveniences of life which the Cancer rising sign is blessed with. And why this is happening is because fourth house is the house of receiving the motherly nourishment from your mother or from the family. Fourth house is the house of the receiving the emotional, financial, or the physical backing up of the family. Fourth house is the house of luxuries and the conveniences of life that the Cancer rising sign is blessed with. And so third house becomes, since third house is 12th from the fourth house, so third house is the house of is the house of leaving aside the conveniences and luxuries of home, and stepping out into the big bad dirty world, coming face to face with the harsh realities of life. Third house is the house of self-effort and courage. That is, it is not through the financial or the emotional backing up of the family that you make it big in life. Third house represents the energies wherein you get those conveniences and the luxuries in life through your own efforts, through your own willpower. Third house has the energy which teaches you to stand on your own feet. and to become responsible for your own actions. And since the original energy of the third house is present into the first house for the Gemini rising sign, this is the kind of the similar situations happens with the Gemini rising sign, wherein they, in the early part of life, what may happen is that they are driven into situations which are kind of very inconvenient, where the luxuries and the comforts of life are missing, where the esoteric, pure and the divine love of the mother can be missing. Now here I don't say that their relationship with the mother would be bad, neither am I saying that they won't get the luxuries and the comforts in their life. Of course they'll get it, but they'll get it at a certain stage in their life through their own efforts. It's not that they are naturally blessed with. So what may happen is that these people go out of home, or they may be forced to go out of home, or there might be any situation where they themselves decide that they want to move out of home and learn the real lessons of life by stepping into that big bad dirty world. So these guys by getting driven into the inconvenient situations, they actually learn the real lessons of life. So although when you are stuck into the inconvenient situations, you may feel stuck up, you may feel bogged down for a little while, but when this process happens with you for 2-3 times, you kind of become very accustomed to it, and it is at that time that you discover the real strength. You start believing in yourself, you start taking the responsibility of your own actions. So everything that happens in our life, it happens for a reason. Similarly, for these Gemini rising sign, God doesn't give them the conveniences and the luxuries of life in the early stage of life, but he gives them the communication skills. He gives them the knack and aptitude. He gives them the manipulation skills. He gives them the courage and power to stand in their own feet, take up their own entrepreneurial decisions, make it big by their own self efforts. And then when they earn money through their own self efforts, they get the conveniences and the luxuries in life. And see, the 12th house for this Gemini rising sign has the energy of the Pisces sign. So these people, when it comes to their career, these people are regularly on the move. So when they are out of home, these people are kind of driven into very inconvenient situations. But what happens is that in this process they kind of meet with all kinds of people, with the good people and bad people, and by interacting with the people with the people of all sorts, they learn the real lessons of life. Let's suppose if this Gemini rising sign people gets deceived once or twice or thrice in life, but what happens? What would happen is that the next time, that is the fourth time, he would be careful of all the ways he can be taken advantage of, or he can be deceived by. And although he may not be doing it consciously, but subconsciously he is also mastering the art of deceiving others, or I shall say is that they consciously are also mastering the art of manipulating others. They consciously are mastering the art of developing the skills, developing the self-effort, which helps them to deal with any uncomfortable situation in their life. And that is why these Gemini rising sign people become one of the best salesmen when it comes to selling any product. You know, these are the people, like I told you before, that these are the people who know tits and bits about everything. These people, since they are constantly on the move, meeting with all sort of people, having both a mixture of good and bad times, there are times in their life that they know tits and bits about everything. They may know about spirituality, they may know about the entertainment industry, they may know about the sex life, they may know about the biological processes that go biological processes that we go through. They may have a knowledge of politics, they may have a knowledge of sports, they may have a knowledge, they may have the knack of doing business. And this is the skills that they hone up while they go through the inconvenient situations in their life. And this skill set kind of makes them the skilled salesperson. So later on their life, what happens is that these people become so manipulative. These people know what is to be said to a particular to any particular person who they are selling their product to. So even if they are selling their product to a person who they know is kind of very spiritual in outlook, so they would target that person on the spiritual basis. They would indulge that person in some sort of a spiritual talk. And if they are selling their product to some sort of a person who is politically inclined, they may strike some sort of a political discussion which may help this person to sell himself or to sell his product to the person who he was having a political discussion with, or who he was having a spiritual discussion with. So then these people really excel at the fields like marketing. So these people develop such an exemplary talent that these people can sell even dust worth as gold dust. They can even, yes, that literally I'm quoting this, they can sell dirt as literally as gold dust. Or even if they are selling a piece of rag, they can manipulate stuff in a way like, this is not a piece of rag. In fact, it's an old piece of clothing that was worn by a particular king thousands of years back, and they may end up selling that particular piece of rag at thousands of dollars. So this is the skill set that comes to them while they learn the lessons of life. Now, moving on to enough of dealing with the first house for the Gemini rising sign. Now coming on to the second house for the Gemini rising sign. Since the second house of the Gemini rising sign is controlled by the planet Moon, so these people are very emotional. Since Moon is a planet of emotions, these people are very emotional about their ancestors, about their ancestral languages, about their ancestral traditions, about their ancestral value systems, about their ancestral festivals, or anything that has to do with their ancestors. So rather than the Cancerian sign, the Cancerian rising sign, for the Cancerian rising sign person, the sign 5 will be present in the second house. So the Cancerian rising sign person takes pride in his ancestral things, but this Gemini rising sign person, instead of taking pride, he is very emotional about he's very emotional about anything that is related to the ancestors. And with the energy of the Moon coming into the fourth house, likely are the chances that their ancestors might be into the professions that are related to Moon. Now there are many professions that are related to Moon, but the specific professions their ancestors might get into is the fact that since second house is the house of the ancestral land and property, and Moon also governs real estate and property. So these people, their ancestors could be associated with real estate and property, since the second house governs our eating habits, and Moon is when the planet Moon is controlling the second house, what happens is that these people may go these people might have ancestors that who might be involved in some sort of a hospitality industry, some sort of a restaurant business, some sort of they might be good chefs, because Moon is all about the nourishment. Moon is all about taking care of others, nourishing others. So when this energy of Moon comes into their second house of eating habits, so what happens is that when our mom cooks the food, Moon stands for mom, that when our mom cooks the food, she doesn't merely cook the food just because it is her duty, but she cooks the food with a sense of love, because she knows that I am at this particular moment, I am not emotionally nurturing the person who I am serving food to, but what all I am making is going to provide nourishment to the people who are going to savor the food that is made by my hands. so she cooks that food with a sense of love, with a motherly kind of aura. So likely at the fact that these people can become good chefs, which is their which is the motherly way of showing her love. Showing her love through the food that she makes. So their ancestors can also be associated with the restaurant business, chefs, hotel industry, any hospitality industry, and the other professions that their ancestors can be associated with is agriculture, poultry, and farming, because second house is the house of ancestral professions. That is the professions that were present, let's suppose 300 to 400 years back. Agriculture, poultry, farming were the main means of income for the people. If we take the scenario some 200 to 300 years back, and moon is the planet that governs water, any income that has to do with water. So these people may have ancestors who might be into poultry, irrigation, farming, or might be into any business which involves water as the main ingredient. And now there's one special thing related to the second house. With the energy of moon is present in their second house, and moon gets exalted in the sign of Taurus, and the second house has the energy, or you can say that moon gets exalted in the second house, or moon gets exalted in the sign of Taurus, because it's the second house is the right side of the brain. And when moon, which is a planet of calmness, which is a planet of serenity and the tranquility of mind, comes into the second house, these people kind of are not bewildered. These people are kind of not ruffled up by the challenges in their life. Instead, these people are like, fine enough, I am going through the challenges, but since I am mentally sound, since I have the mental composure and tranquility of mind, I will, through my efforts, somehow I will get I will tackle the difficult situation that I am stuck in, and I'll finally come out of it. So this is the fact that the rising sign, as I told you, that these Gemini rising sign are constantly stuck into situations wherein they have to sacrifice the luxuries and the conveniences of life, and they are stuck into all kind of inconvenient situations. But as it is said that God gives you only that much pain that you are able to handle. God never gives you that much amount of pain which you won't be able to handle. So herein the Gemini rising sign people are not blessed with the luxuries, comforts, and the motherly love that the Cancer rising sign is blessed with, but instead this Gemini rising sign is blessed with everything, that is with every skill set that he can use to himself earn on his own efforts. He can earn the conveniences and the luxuries or the wealth in his life, which the Cancer sign is naturally blessed with, but this person gets it through an effort, and he has got all the skill set. Not only is he a courageous person, not only he has got the manipulation and the communication skills to impress others, but he has got the tranquility of mind as well. So he has the mental composure to deal with the tough times. Now coming on to the third house for the Gemini rising sign, and the third house of the Gemini rising sign has the symbol 5. That is the original energy of the fifth house comes into the third house for the Gemini rising sign. And what is Sun all about? Well, Sun is the planet that gives a boost. Sun is the planet that governs our ego. Sun is the planet that gives you self-confidence. Sun is the planet of individuality. Sun is the planet that gives a momentum, that gives a lift to your self-confidence. So it is when these Gemini rising sign people, when they do the third house things, they derive that doing those things give a boost to their ego. So these Gemini rising sign people may be egoistical, or they may take pride in the fact that they have a huge friend circle. They may take pride in the fact that they can deal with any difficult situation in their life and come out of it. They may take pride in the fact that they have the manipulation and the communication skills, that they can sell any damn product on this earth to any person of any caste, creed and color. They may take pride in the fact that they are good at flirting, or they are good at impressing themselves onto others. They may take pride in the fact that they have learned to stand on their own feet and learn the harsh lessons of life. They may take pride in the fact that they have the good entrepreneurial skills, since all these things are represented by the third house in our horoscope. But there is one very special thing that I'll tell you now. One thing with this Gemini rising sign people is that although these people may or may not work under somebody, but there comes a point in their life when this Gemini rising sign people actually realize that these people are not good at working under somebody. In fact, these people do good when they are their own masters, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because these people do good as entrepreneurs, or these people good when they are their own masters, because here the planet Sun is present. The planet Sun is present in their third house. And what is the planet Sun? The Sun is a planet of individuality. The Sun is a planet who is the supreme one, who all the planets in the solar system revolve around. Sun is the planet who represents the king, that is there at the throne, at the highest administrative level. Sun is the planet who is blessed with the rarest blend of qualities like persona, charisma, intelligence, wisdom, luck. So he is that person who has it all. He's that ball of heat that brims with dazzling light, because he knows that he is that supreme power, and that energy of Sun is present into their third house. And third house is all about the house of courage. Third house is the house of self-effort. Third house is the house of learning to stand on your own feet. One reason. Second reason, these people are good when they do their own business, is the fact that the original energy of Pisces is present into their 10th house of career, and Pisces energy is all about liberation, freedom. The third reason why these people good when they are their own masters is the fact that the energy of Scorpio is present in their 6th house. So whenever we have to see in a particular chart that would this person do good while he's working under somebody, the one thing that we look at is the state of the 6th house. So here you can see that the energy of the Scorpio sign is present in their 6th house. So these people, these Gemini rising sign people are kind of very, very secretive when it comes to the 6th house things. And 6th house is all about your fellow colleagues, is all about competition, is all about overcoming the hurdles in life. So these people naturally harbor the desire to be at the top, to be among the top rankers. And this is one trait that is to be found in the people who are entrepreneurs. Now, if you are working for a company, you might be earning, let's suppose, 40,000 to 60,000 US dollars per year. But at the max, what at the end of your life, even if everything goes good, you will have a salary of at the max 5 lakhs to 6 lakhs US dollars per year. Of course, even if everything goes right, but herein you are somewhere compromising. You have set your limit to that 4 lakh to 5 lakh US dollars that you might be earning at the time you retire. But the entrepreneur is the person for whom there is no limit. Entrepreneur is the person for whom there is no limit to expansion. Entrepreneur is the person who can see what lies beyond the sky, Entrepreneur is the person who doesn't compromise. Entrepreneur is the person who doesn't set limits for himself, because he knows that he's got to be among that top 10 people in the city or in his own country. And this is why the Scorpion energy, because Scorpion energy is all about secretly getting ahead of other people. Had the energy of a planet like Moon, Venus, or even Jupiter present into their 6th house, then we would have said that fine enough, they can, since they have the peacemaking energies, so they can do good while they are working under somebody. But if the energy of the planet Sun or Mars is present in the 6th house, then there is a firm indication that these people do good when they are their own masters. So can you see however related the stuff? Sun in the 3rd house, energy of Pisces in the 10th house, energy of Scorpio in the 6th house, and this is the reason why they do good while they are their own masters. So everything in astrology, has a scientific reason behind it. So I am not one of those people who would just do blah blah blah, learn something from the book and tell to you people without correlating, or without correlating the stuff, and without the use of charts. This is something not my style. I believe that astrology is no pseudoscience, it is a pure science. It's just that only few people know how to correctly use it. So guys, this was it from my side. I know it was a very long episode, so for those of you who like me for one reason or the other, please do subscribe to my channel, and please do try to find out the purpose of your life through astrology. Do subscribe to my channel. This will keep you regularly updated with the feeds, and you'll be regularly informed whenever I upload a video next. So on that note, this is your host Rishu signing off. Take care, have a good day.